5. This amendment states on first item on page 4, line 1, to increase the amount by $800,000. Of this amount, $800,000 is designated to provide a funding for a rescue unit at Station 2. On page 5, line 20, decrease the amount by $800,000 of the remaining, and then item 3 on the remaining balance in Fund 305, activity 7500030, which is for Fire Station 2. $180,000 is designated for acquisition of a rescue apparatus. And then this resolution, as amended, shall be revised during the process of enrolling to reflect any changes resulting from this amendment throughout the bill. Councilors, for the past 7 years, we worked to get a new Fire Station 2. We started out with the old station. This was with the previous administration in the Huning Highlands neighborhood. The station had a lot of problems with it, but one important need that was agreed to by everyone at the time and then subsequently agreed to by this administration was that the importance of having a rescue bay for Fire Station 2. This amendment would fund that rescue and its equipment. The situation downtown and in the center city right now, in my opinion, and having spoken to firefighters, particularly at Station 1, I feel is very dire. We just recently moved the rescue from Station 4, which is in the near North Valley, serves that's the station that's near Coronado Park. That rescue was moved out to Station 17 on the west side. So as with many needs for the west side, in this case, they were filled at the expense of, in my opinion, responsiveness and coverage of the center city. Station 1, as a result of the removal of Rescue 4, Rescue 1 now covers a huge area, which includes Station 2. We did build a new Station 2, as you may know, and it does have a rescue bay. However, it's down on Gibson instead of in the Huning Castle or Huning Highland neighborhood. It's a better location. Everyone agreed that that was a good change of course to move it down there. The result, though, of having Station 2's being further away and Station 4 no longer having a rescue is that Rescue 1 is very much overburdened. And you can imagine Rescue 1 is the downtown station. It covers Central Avenue and downtown and all the associated complex problems that go along with Central Avenue and downtown. It provides coverage for Stations 3 and other stations throughout the city. The geographic distance that's covered when Rescue 1 is responding to an emergency in the near North Valley will leave a large uncovered area that's in my opinion is going to be a detriment to the whole area south of the North Valley without a rescue unit. The funding mechanism for this comes from salary savings from vacant positions in the APD. And we've funded for the last eons 1,100 positions at APD. The average reversions for those positions between 2003 and 2012 is almost $3 million a year. Some of those are used by APD to buy miscellaneous equipment at the end of the year when these positions are not filled. Much of it goes to the general fund, if I'm not mistaken, from research done by our staff. Much of it has reverted to the general fund. And this is going to hold those $800,000, which is roughly the cost of those positions, for a public safety purpose. They would not be reverting to the general fund or be anything other than a public safety purpose. I think this is the right thing to do. I think we're going to have a we're going to have a long period of time before we fill 1,100 APD positions. And certainly not in this fiscal year are we going to even come close. And at the time that we do come close, I know that everyone here will adjust the budget accordingly, but certainly not in the foreseeable future. So I urge your support for this. I'm sure there'll be some questions about it.
Councilor Sanchez, then Councilor Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Zaman, in the last 3 budget cycles, did we revert more than $3 million per year back to the general fund from the police budget?
Mr. President, Councilor Sanchez, in FY 2012, we reverted $2.863 million. In FY 2011, $3.556 million. And in FY 10, $558,000. The average over the period from 2003 to 2012 is $2.9 million per year.
So the average is $2.9 million. I support this amendment. When Fire Chief Bream came to me and said they were going to be moving the rescue to the west side from 2 to 17, I was very grateful for that because of the population on Albuquerque's west side. However, I was still very concerned about the residents in the North Valley and the impact it was going to have on those residents. So I think this legislation is a good piece of legislation. I think we still address the needs for the Albuquerque Police Department without any losses because, as Councilor Benton has stated, we've never reached the pinnacle of 1,100 officers. I know we've tried for many years, but we're not there yet. And with the number of individuals going to the recruits that are going into the class, I don't think we'll meet that criteria even by next fiscal year. But I just think this is a good amendment. It's good policy. And I think it's critical that those residents of Albuquerque's North Valley have a rescue truck that they've had for many, many years.
Councilor Gardenia.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Councilor Benton. As you know, this borders somewhat my district, especially when we start talking about Mesa del Sol, which was going to get a fire station and hopefully a rescue unit, but it has not and probably won't for quite a while. My concern is also, just like yours, that there is a gap, a tremendous gap, between, I would say, Central on the north, Eubank on the east, and the freeway, or even more so, on the west, where there is no coverage. And the coverage that 2 is going to have now is going to be for fire suppression, not for rescue. And I implore us to start looking at that, and I want to thank Councilor Sanchez for saying what I think is true, that